So hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Soccer Hub Talks. As you know, Soccer Hub is an online education platform for coaches, scouts, analysts, and for all the ones that wish to learn more about the different aspects of the game. So please visit our webpage and get to know more about our services. Before we start, please introduce some information about yourselves in the chat box. And click on the like button to see if the audio and the video is okay. Remember, this is a live webinar, so feel free to ask your questions to our guests. So today's subject is mentors and role models to young players. And to talk about it, we have with us a very special guest, the perfect guest, I'd say, as I'm a scout. I think it was a perfect scouting to talk with us about himself. Because himself was a big reference and a role model to me, and someone that I always admired, and not only inside but also outside the pitch, most of all outside the pitch also. And so, welcome, my friend. It's been a long time, and great to see you again after so many years. How are you doing to start?
I'm fine, Nuno. Before everything, thank you very much for this invitation. It was a pleasure for me. It will be a pleasure for me to be here talking with you about football, about all the things is important on football, on life also. Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm okay. It was a pleasure to see you after many, many years. It was a pleasure to see you again. And I hope to see you in Portugal very soon. As we talked before, we're supposed to be together, but anyway, you're always traveling, me too. So I hope we're gonna have opportunity to be together and to talk.
We will be, for sure. We'll be soon. And so it's also time for you to share some of your knowledge with people that can watch, because I'm always learning with you since young age. So that's why also we are here. So let me just do a brief introduction about your career. It's not that many people need, because most of people already know you. So Moreira is a former international player for Guinea-Bissau. He played in different countries such as Portugal, Belgium, Germany, Russia, Serbia, China, and Spain. Yeah. So currently is an executive director for the Guinea-Bissau Football Federation. So that's your role at the moment. You also had different roles in these years after you finish your career. So let's start, as you guys are here to hear Moreira and his advices and not to listen to me. So to start, can you tell us a bit more about your current role at the Federation and what you are doing, and how it came across the invitation to be part of Guinea-Bissau's Federation?
Yeah, I'm Director General. To be honest, I'm Director General of Federation. The invitation came for one of my older friends. It was the time when I started to play in national team for Guinea-Bissau. I was already a little bit older, with 33 years old. As 32, I started to play national team. This invitation came from the president of Federation, Carlos Teixeira. When I think around 1 year and a half almost, he invited me to help him to organize. As you know, to be honest, we must be honest. African Federation, they have a little bit. When I say a little bit, I don't want to say it's too much complicated. Too much complicated. Organization is quite also difficult. So he invited me to help him to organize, because talent we have a lot of talent players, but the same problem I have, the actual players have the same problem. It's organization, because before they come to national team, they're always telling I heard it's a lot of problems there because of this. I'm always telling this is true. We have a lot of problems, but now we are much better. It's not because I'm there, but I'm trying to make the things very easy for the players, because this is something I learned in Germany when I was playing there. They always tell us that the players, you're focusing on the field. It's on the field, nothing else. You don't have to worry with nothing. So I try to with help with people work with me to try to do the same thing, because I want all the players come for national team to have one concern in pitch. So we are trying to do good work. I think we are doing good work. We just finished our participation in CAN, not now, 2 weeks ago. We finished our participation in the Confederation of African Football. This is the third time in the role we are participating. That's something, I think it's something incredible for a small country like Guinea-Bissau. So I think we are doing well. We must improve, and we will improve. We need time. I think in 1 year we cannot change a lot of things, but I think we are in good way.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks for sharing, and for sure, with people like you, the things go better, and for sure they will improve. So traveling a bit in time, and talk about today's subject. As you know, and I mentioned before, you've always been a reference to me, as we played for the same club back in Portugal, Boa Vista, many years ago, and you being a couple of years older than me. Although it doesn't look, I can assure you, and maybe you can share later. You can share your secret. How can you look younger than me? But yeah, so you always cared about the younger players, and giving good advice. And I remember you were even, this is a confidence, like you were coming. We were going the bus home, and you were making sure that I was delivered home. You were coming with me, and I will never forget about it. So thanks again for that, and something that I will remember for many years, and obviously stays with me for life. And your advice is always, obviously, because for the people that don't know, you were playing on the under 19. I was playing on the under 13, I believe, and at the time you were already like a big player, big promise, like a player that was gonna make it big. Anyone could see, and of course you were an idol. So did you have also some role models, or someone giving you also good advice, like you gave to me, even just being someone just being there for you? Did you also have that?
I think my role models, first of all, they are my parents. They always tell me when I start to play. I remember one time. It was on Sunday. I was tired, Sunday morning. I didn't want to go to play. I didn't went. They come home. My coaches come home to call me. I didn't want to go to play. I don't know why. I don't remember, because I was too young. My parents, especially my father, told me, you must decide what you want to do. Compromise. If you are telling that you go play, your coaches come home to call you, don't want to go. This is not serious. So you must really decide what you want to be. If you want to be a soccer player, you must decide for now. I know you are young, but you must have compromise. This is something that stay with me for many years. So this is the first advice I really have from my father, and rest in all. When I started in Bovisa, a lot of players like Bobo, Ermin Sanchez, the most of players in first in Bovisa, that was important for me, because you asked me something about advice, like I said, advice is for free, but the most important to give advice is the other person, in this case young players, really want to accept this advice. In my case, it was important for me to hear everybody, because when older people talk with you, it's because they want you to improve. In my case, I always pay attention what people tell me about this, about advice. You are here, do this, do that, you must do that. And for me, it was important for me to get all this knowledge for a lot of players, older than me. When they give me something, I stop and I listen. And for next time or next training, I try to do what I learned for them. And for me, it was important this. But I repeat, the most important to give advice, it's up to other people, or in this case, other young players, accept this advice.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for sharing. And then you said everything now, and it's very important also to accept advice. and yeah, and you are very good on passing also your knowledge and advice. You're always ready for that. That's why you also became a captain in some clubs where you've been playing, and that's very important also. So coming back to the present, do you try also to pass? You keep trying to pass that knowledge and experience to young players, and how do you see their receptivity to in these days? Do you see any differences? Like you're saying, it's all in your case. You always were open to listen different opinions. Do you think in these days it's a bit different? Do you face any different experiences from players?
Definitely, definitely. The time is changing. The time is
Yeah,
changing. I think in the present it's more difficult to give advice. In this case, I think the players, the young players, they think they know everything, because
yeah,
I can see the difference on my time. We accept things.
yeah,
I give you an example. When we are young players, sometimes we go training with the first team. For us, it's something incredible. It's something looking forward, for next day.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when we are go there, we are always listen and respect. But now I think the football, the mentality is totally different, because now it's more easy for young players have a chance to be in the first team. It's more easy to young players be in the first team, play in the first team, and also this is something very important. When you are earning a lot of money, young, you must have a strong character. You must have strong character to think in the future, because a lot of players, they lose their way because they win a lot of money very young.
yeah,
In past is not happen like that, like, because of them saying for now, sometimes not all, but maybe 50% of young players, when you try to give that advice, they think this is nothing, because they know everything, because they're in other level that we are not in our time, not because we don't have talent, but
yeah.
I think now the thing is becoming more easier to be in the first team, to get opportunity in the first team, to make big contracts. So because of that, it's more easy now. I can see the difference in our time. When they give us advice, we listen, and we have opportunity only to training with the first team. For us, it's something incredible. It's something
Incredible.
looking forward. But now it's different. Like I say, they have more chances, they have more opportunity. So it's quite difficult to listen to older players, because they think, no, I'm in another level. I don't need to listen everything they tell me.
Yeah, that's true. Even Ronaldo, a few days ago or a few weeks ago, he said that yeah, he struggles to the young players. He was complaining they don't listen so much. So if they don't listen to Ronaldo, who are they gonna listen to? So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly,
so,
exactly. One of
so
the best players. If people don't listen, who they're gonna listen? This
yeah,
is
yeah,
true.
that's
This is
that's true.
true.
That's true. So you have a son, Diego, who is now 17, that currently plays for Benfica.
Yeah.
And does he also listen to your advice, or sometimes you think it's harder to listen to your own father instead of another player or even a friend?
He listen, he listen, because he know me, he know the
Okay.
way I work. And
Yeah.
sometimes I hope you don't gonna listen this. Sometimes he told me,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Dad, why you never told me I was great? Even if I'm a great on the field, you never told me you were great. I try to make you understand that this is football. What you do today, tomorrow people will forget. That means you must try achieve something better game by game. Because of that, I never tell him. Even if he make a great, fantastic, amazing games, I never tell him, son, you have incredible. I say, it was not bad, but you can do better. You always tell me like this. But everybody tell me I was really good. I said, yes, but I'm your father. You must listen to me when I tell you something. I'm just telling this that it can be too comfy.
Yeah.
Just if my father says I'm okay, don't no. So I'm going to try to put him a little bit down for the next game. It can be much, much, and much better. So he listen my advice every time after his game. We look at the games, and I'm waiting always for him. I'm giving the word. I say, okay, well, what do you think about your game? with note you give him 1 to 10, what you think. He was and he's still honest about every game we are together, we have chance normally. All game when I'm not traveling, we see the game and we sit, we talk. And he was real honest because I tell you, you must be honest for yourself to start,
Yeah.
you know. You cannot expect me to tell you that you make a great game or expect someone tell you, your friends, your mom to tell you was incredible. No, first you must start for you. You must accept what you did or it's not good. So he's very honest about this. When he's not playing good, he's really down. He's going to tell me, Papa, I know today it was bad. I said, okay, this is good that you think about that. This is good that you accept that. For the next game, you can be better. So, in general, yes, he listened to me. He listened to me. Even for him, he says it's important that what we do every time after this game, what we do, the way we talk, the honest, because we are really honest between us. So he appreciated that. And after this game, he called me directly to say, Papa, what do you think? And sometimes when the game is bad, I said, listen, let's do something. Let's go home, we sit, we talk. Because I know on that moment he's not feeling good because he didn't play good. So I tried to give him space to say, listen, take your time. Even I avoid sometimes to see the game on the same day. I'll let for next day. Then we see the game and we talk to letting a little bit, because I know it's frustrated already. So if I'm going also to tell you this is going to be much better. So I'll let him for one day and next day we talk. But yes, he accepted my advice. He asked for my advice. That means important, because I don't want to tell you this, you must do this. No, I want him to come for him. That he said, Papa, we need to talk. I need your advice. This is important also, that I accept that. And Diego, as my son, fortunately accept that. I hope we're going to continue for many years like that.
That's great, and we hope so. And it's great that you give him the freedom also to ask you. You know, like
Exactly.
that's very important. So
No, that's important that the players, not only your son, but even being a coach, sometimes you must let players come to talk with you. But especially when you are parents, that's important. That let them come to talk. Not you all the time come to say you must do this, you didn't do this. No, because it's important, first of all, they accept their mistake, that they can be improved for next game, next training. You know, this is important that they come to you, that to try to analyze, to understand what they did wrong.
Yeah, to have that curiosity, to wake up that curiosity on them, to also understand. That's very important. Do you think in these days, do you think that these days many parents put too much pressure on their children to become top players, when the main aspect should be for them to enjoy the game, especially at very young ages? As a father and a former top player, how do you see this? And what advice would you give to those parents?
Definitely, I agree with you. For this day, we can see even on games, on training for young players, you can see some parents put a lot of pressure. That's not good. That's not good. First of all, I think we must let them enjoy. They must love the game. You know, we cannot push them to play. I can give an example of my son. I never put my son to play. I have 3 kids. I never put them pressure. You must play. No, Diego, since young, he liked to play. I let them. I never tell him you must do that. He liked to play. He play alone. When he start to play, I tell him, if you really want to do this, before going to the game, you must take your shoes, you must take your stuff for the game one night before. And something you do, I don't even need to wake him up in the morning. I don't know, it's something that's he really like. So I think before everything, the players, your son, your nephew, they must love to do what they're doing. Doesn't matter if it's tennis, if it's soccer players, futsal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the sport they're doing, they must love. So, but to be straight on your question, yes, a lot of parents put a lot of pressure. You must be Messi, you must be Cristiano. No, let them enjoy. Let them be a kid, you know, a young player. Let them enjoy. There is going to be a time they must be a professional. But it's not up to us. The parents must tell them, this is what you must do. They will have a coach to do. We can give advice. It's true. But in day by day, you are not in the training. You are not in the game. You are not in the bench to tell him, do that, do this. I'm going to repeat myself. First of all, they must love the sport they're doing. They must do it by themselves, not pushing by the parents, uncle, sister, brothers. No, this is wrong. This is really wrong.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I completely agree with you, and I think that's a healthy way to do it. Because most of all, we want our children to be happy. And
Exactly.
that's important. So for sure, thank you for sharing that. And also, we have a question here. It's not related to the subject, but anyway, it's from Jerko Kolak. So I'm gonna show you in here. So if you do remember playing in Serbia, obviously you remember, and you are a legend in Serbia, and you played many years for Partizan. And would you scout there? Well, I don't know if the question if it's for you about scouting or for me, but you can answer. Yeah.
Remember, it's something I'm never gonna forget. Serbia was amazing in all level. It was amazing in all level. Uh, I don't know where to start. So if I can scouting, if I can give advice for many scouting my friends doing, I'm telling go to Serbia because they have natural talent. They have natural talent. Uh, you always going to produce the top players. They're always going to produce top players. So definitely, if I can scout in Serbia, I'm going to do it. Not only just because of players, because also I love the country, I love the people. If I couldn't start again, I will start in Serbia, no doubts about that.
Yeah, for sure. And for the ones I don't know, you are a legend, a big legend over there, and you did great in there. So thanks for the question, Erko, and yeah, stay safe. So let's go to the subject again. So you're also a reference and a legend also, not only in Serbia but also obviously in Guinea-Bissau and other countries where you've been playing. And how do you see the present and the future of the national teams there in Guinea? And do you believe that is important to bring on board former players like you so the younger generations can also have those references and role models to guide and advise them in general terms to provide knowledge, mental education for the players from since a young age?
Definitely, definitely. Because I think in present, you can start to build the team for the future. When I mean for the future, you can have a top national team. But for that, you must try to change the things for many years we didn't change in Africa. First of all, I'm telling you straight, is organization. It's organization. People must to try to understand and to accept their roles, because many times people try to do things they should not do. They don't know how to do it. This is one of these important things we must change in the African football. Okay, I'm going to say in my country to start in Guinea-Bissau, because we have so many top players, but many of those players don't want to go to national team because of this one I'm talking about organization, But the things was changing now. If you see many players now want to play in national team from Africa, not in Europe, because many players have double nationality. They can play for France, they can play from Portugal, Spain, but many of those players are choosing to represent African teams because the things are changing. The things are changing. In Guinea-Bissau, I can say, if the thing has changed really, we can get all the players playing abroad. A lot of Guinea players playing top team. People don't know that. But if the organization is good, players want to accept to go to represent the national team, I think in the future Guinea-Bissau can have a top players like Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo. So we can be on top country in Africa. We can be that. But for that, we need to organize. We need to prepare the present, the future now in the present.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. And it's very important also to come to bring players like you, like references, like for young players to see that if you are able to make it, they can also have a chance to make it. I'll tell you because like I was saying, you were a reference to me, and I remember every time I was looking and you were on the under 19s. You're not professional yet, but I was seeing you as a Ronaldo at the time, because I was younger, and so young players see the players that are actually a bit older, or they made it like in a big level. They can have those examples, and you see that many African countries are actually bringing back those players. Even like now with Samuel Eto'o, like in Cameroon in the federation.
Exactly, and I think DJ Drogba is gonna be a future president of national team in the Ivory Coast. This is important because if the players in many countries, many European teams, if they see Didier Drogba as the president of national team, Samuel Eto'o, this is something they are looking forward to represent the country. This is definitely, and of course, if I'm a player from Cameroon, I see Samuel Eto'o as a president, it's something I'm looking forward also to be. I want to be player of national team, to have a talk with him, to listen his advice, because of course, let's be honest, if we have Samuel Eto'o in the dressing room, and we are former national president of Federation of Cameroon, it's totally different. Because he was not a former player.
Okay. Yeah. Some technical part. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. You are.
It's totally different. It's totally different when you see a player, someone in dressing room like Samuel Eto'o or someone else. When you see Didier Drogba or someone else, it's totally different. It's a role model. I would say we want to follow, we want to be with that. So I think this is important. The ex-soccer player, top players becoming in football. This is one of the things I think a lot of people that are in football, but they don't understand about football. They don't know what is the dressing room. All these things are important. People maybe, if you have not been there, maybe you think it's not important, but it's really important. You must feel the dressing room. You must know the dressing room, that you can give also advice, the things already you live before, you pass, you can give your knowledge. You can say, I know what's to be in the dressing room, to play in that level. This is important for young players, for the future top players.
That's true, and thanks for sharing. And probably football is one of the only industries in the world that everybody thinks can give an opinion without knowing or without being inside. And everybody can be a scout, or anyone can be a coach from outside, but actually it's not like that. So we know about it. So in these days also, so how do you see the fact that, for example, that the young players in these days, they are more focused sometimes, and you mentioned before, on the financial side, okay? And success, that success for them is to reach a level where they can earn good money as soon as they can and sign a professional contract. And in our days, it was different. Our main goal was to play for the first team and to make it. Despite the fact that we were earning good or bad money, we accepted because we wanted to make it. So, and also most of the young players in these days, also with, of course, there are other ways of communication, internet, and some things that make it easier to have access to different leagues and everything. Most of the players have, I would say, 4 or 5 players in the world as role models, like Ronaldo, like Messi, obviously Neymar, Mbappe, Haaland, all those players. And they don't look so much inside to the players that play for, like the example, like when we met. So do you think that makes also the players, when they are focused more on the financial side, they skip some important steps, some very important steps in their development? And because obviously not every player can have a career like Ronaldo. Do you think it's important for the player to have also good advice from people who can motivate them, but also can open their eyes to reality when when needed, and also to keep their feet on the ground?
Definitely, no. I'm gonna tell you something. This is my own thinking. The football night industry, okay? The football night industry. What's really changed also is social media. Why?
Yeah.
In our time, I'm gonna tell you, we want to play, we want to enjoy, we want to enjoy. There is, no social media. All the games are not on TV. People should used to go to the stadium. I remember our time, young players, junior, when you're playing, we have full stadium. It's not big stadium, but where you are playing is always full. But now the thing is totally different because of social media. What do we see? Ronaldo have big house. Ronaldo have many cars. Ronaldo have this. Messi have that. If Henry.
Well, we lost the sound again. Sorry. Yeah. So some technical issue. Moreira is coming in a second. So guys, don't forget this is live. So please feel free to ask your questions. Okay. So yeah, let's wait a bit. So this is today's subject. We are talking with Almami Moreira, mentors and role models for young players. So Moreira is back. So yeah, are back now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying. So when you see what Ronaldo have, what Messi have, what Aubameyang has, all in social media, what start to happen? All young players want to have the same thing. All young players, what their goal? I want to want the money as soon as possible.
Yeah.
For one side, I can understand, but I'm telling you again, you must build your own character. You must build your own character to say, I want to go step by step. But sometimes young players start very good. But also, it's important in this case, the managers, the managers, they cannot say, no, you must get money now, you must go on this play. Let the player take his time. Let the player go step by step. It's important that we have good advice to try to manage. We must try to manage also. You must know the quality of the players, the character of player, and try to find a team that he can grow. Okay?
Yeah.
We cannot give a long step that for big contract. After you have big contracts for your first 3 years, after a lot of players disappear like that. They go to big club, get big money, but they're not playing. In football, in soccer, when you're not playing, people say, what's wrong? It's a talent player. Why not playing? People start to forget you. This is football. Every single day, we have a new star. Every single day, we have a new young player becoming, So it's important to have good advice, strong character. You have also person can give you advice. But the most important to all, I think you players, you must have strong mentality. It's important also the family, the role of the family, the parents to tell you, no, let's go step by step. Let's not gonna put the money, the first thing. Because if you win money on your first 3 years, after that, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Play. You must have. I think I'm always telling, first of everything you must play. Me, when I was not playing, I'm getting crazy. Getting crazy. And to be coming back, last, as you said, in our time, this is not our main goal to get money. Of course, we want to get money, but it's not our main goal. Our main goal is to play, to enjoy. After that, things becoming step by step,
Money,
But
money was a consequence, like if you perform well.
Exactly. Especially now, if you are thinking like that, if you have this kind of mentality, probably going to get a lot of money, because now there is a lot of money in football, not before 40 years ago, 30 years ago. So it's consequence of your work, the things you are doing. You must have patience also. So if you're patient on this time, on this present, if you're patient, you are doing well, you can have the both. That means that you can do what you really like to do, is playing, have minutes in the field, and get money also. That is important. Cannot forget that too.
Of course, that's true. And you mentioned also a very important aspect is the mental part. Many players in these days start to invest also with mental coaches, and other professionals that can help them, especially with the mental side of the game, and something that, of course, the times changed, but some things are better now also, so especially in these days, people are much more open to talk about the mental part. In our times, it was like some kind of weakness if we were talking about that part in these days, and it's good that the things develop in that way, and there is a natural evolution. What do you think about the players? Do you think it's important also to invest in that kind of tools? And do you believe that everything can help a player, and at the same time is important for a player to develop his own mental strength also in parallel?
I think it's important to have all this because we must follow the evolution of the time. Okay, I think it's important, but the most important to have a mental coach. I think to your whole mentality. Like you say, in our time we don't have all this new environment they have now with all this beautiful thing, mental coach. We are our own mental coach because we knew it, what we want to do, what we need to do at that time. But as I said, you said something important. The evolution of the time, maybe now we request all this because we start to earn money very young with 16, 17, 20, we can have a big contract. So like I say, if you don't have a strong structure, familiar structure, so you need to have all these beautiful things. I will say beautiful thing, that's mean a mental coach. One of the things very important. With social media, we really need someone can give us advice, can show us how we can move, how we should do things. In our time, like I said, we don't have this. We build our own character. We build our own character. We choose our own path, where we want to go, what we want to do. So, but now it's all, like I said, football as an industry. So I think it's important that a part of football, the industry now, to have all this beautiful word what you can say, the mental coach, sit with mental coach, he give you advice, you say what's going in your mind, what you should do. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, Twitter, so it's important. For the present, the way we are living things, I think yes, it's important to have all these tools.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, don't you think that the players in these days they think too much in an individual level, and they think about themselves as their career, individual career, and sometimes they don't learn with their teammates, because it's also important to learn with different teammates, different nationalities, different experiences, for example, and they are focused. The players, most of them are focused only on themselves. People in general are investing on themselves and not so open, like you said, with social media. People tend to be more there to show their lives, and maybe they are not so alert to the things that are happening around. So do you think it's also important to learn with your teammates, to understand, to be to be aware of the things that are around you, and learn with them and share opinions and everything?
Definitely, because we are better. We are always better when we can work in group. We are better when we are share our experience. Of course, now human being normal there, we are selfish. Definitely, we are selfish. I think also it's important to have one selfish part, but when you work in group, you cannot be selfish 100%. But this is what you say is true. This is what's happened now. Everybody think themselves to do what's best for me and only that. But when they try to understand, if I have one part of me that is selfish, we have other part when we can share, when I can learn with my teammates, with my coach, my teachers, the people around me, I will be much better. I will be much better if we can combine these two things. Be selfish, and other part can share, can learn with everybody around me. This is important, but now it's difficult. People think like that because everybody start to think their own self, what they can do, what they can produce, what they can have. for themselves without sharing. We must share, you know.
That's
We
true.
must
That's
share
true.
our experience. We must learn with someone older than us. If you combine all this, I think we can be much, much, much better. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure, and that's also a beautiful part of my job as a scout, because like to have 11 or 24 players that are good players and they are selfish, it doesn't make a good team. And sometimes if you don't, okay, you don't hire the better player in terms of football quality, but if you hire players that they can get along with each other, they can have a good group. Sometimes you have much more success when the things happen like that. And that's also important to understand when you do the process of scouting, to understand how the player is in terms of mentality and also in the social part. This is also important. So in terms of talking a bit more about African football, like we also talked a bit before, as currently the African Nations Cup is taking place, and Guinea, like you said, Guinea-Bissau was participating, and we all know that most of the African countries produce a lot of talented players, lot of talented players who are in general very strong technically and physically. Do you believe that is also important to bring the experience of former players like you, that you've been playing in different countries in a high level, different continents, so can also advise them, especially on the mental part? Do you think it's the mental part what makes the big difference for the African players in general to be ready to face the new challenges, especially in different continents? I would say in
Yeah,
Europe, because the big dreams and the big clubs are in Europe.
absolutely. They need advice because talent, African players they have, talent
Everything.
they have, wish they have, strength they have, but they're missing a lot of things. Why African countries don't win a World Cup? Because
Yeah.
we have so much quality, but we have other parts we need to work. We have other parts tactically we need to do it. Because if you see young African players in street, like they say, they have natural talent, but they need to be worked. Because
Yeah.
one player can take the ball, he dribble 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other player, he give the ball. I will dribble also 1, 3, 4, 5. The other do the thing. But when you put it on the field to play
Yeah.
11 against 11, tactically, they're still very, it's rough for them, So this part is important to work with them also. Because what you do in Africa, if you come to Europe teams, you cannot do it. You
Yeah.
must know tactically how to defend, how to attack, how to be on space, All these things, I think Africa players need to work there. Of course, when you are talking about big players, you say, but they don't need their big players, of course, but they start somewhere, Maybe when they come to Europe, maybe they lose 1 or 2 years to learn all these things. But if you start to implement all these tactics in Africa,
Yeah.
when we do this in Africa, when Africa players come to Europe, they don't want to lose 1 or 2 years to learn this. They come
Yeah.
already, they will be ready in 2 or 3 months to be fit on the team,
Yeah.
And all this working, I think this is part very important also. Work their mentality, because sometimes the way they play in Africa, like I said, they cannot play in same way in Europe, But for you need to prepare them before they leave in Africa to don't lose time to becoming a top player, and they
Yeah.
know they are not in Africa anymore. They cannot do the things they do before. Like I said, we dribble 5. When you lose the ball, space you must occupy, where you must be, defense, attack. Football is not only attack; it's also defense. It's also defense. And most African players they like to attack after
Well,
and they
you
forget.
need more attack. Yeah, because you are a
No,
striker and a very good one.
exactly. We must work on that. When
Yeah.
they work on that, combined with strong mentality, they have already. But you cannot have only strong mentality. You know how to put the strong mentality for the team, where it can be when you can help your team with your strong mentality. I think it's all these small things, but when you work, there's a lot of small things. It becoming a big teams. When you do all this, I think African players, African national teams can start to dreaming to win something, one very important competition, this World Cup.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you for sharing that. And so you played in several different countries, like we also talked before. Can you mention one country in particular that you think that, in your opinion, is a good example of how to better prepare the player to become a professional and also as a person?
German,
Yeah.
definitely German. I was really surprised. I was really surprised when I arrived in German. I was really surprised. Uh, I don't want to say. I want to be very clear. I don't want to say the other country I was playing, they are not professional. But
Yeah.
German, it's something different, totally different. German is totally different because when I arrived in German, I give example. When I arrived, I was in hotel, I think 1 week. After that, I start to worry where I'm gonna live, if I want an apartment, if I want a house, if I want a car. They told me, Almami, here you don't need to worry. Just please worry with training and playing, nothing else. I was wow. After that, they told me, listen, you have 4 apartments, 4 houses, uh, we have mobile phones, we have companies, all this. But always talking like that. They told me, when you are ready, if you're not tired after training, if you're feeling good, we can go to visit the apartment, the houses, wherever you want. For the mobile phones, for your family, we're going to bring you 10 or 12. I was saying, wow, this is really something that, you don't
Yeah.
hear every day. We don't need to worry with nothing. They are so professional in the all level. They're very professional in the all level that it's almost impossible to say I was worried because of where I'm gonna live. I was worried with this or with that. This is impossible. So they give you all the tools that only you need to worry, to be on field on time, to do your work at best you can. For the rest, they take care of everything. And for me, it was really important lesson for me that to know that I don't need to worry with nothing. So this is one example I give everybody when I go with everybody I talk, all country I play. German, it's an example for me. I think it should be example for everybody. When I say the way you should work, the way you should move, you should do everything, for me, definitely, it was in German.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's true. It's completely different, and the things are different. So to finish, can you leave some advice to all the young players, like you gave to me also, and which can make the difference in their lives, and like they did on mine?
First of all, example I can do what you love to do. If you really love to play soccer, if you really want to be a tennis, basketball, first of all, you must love to do it. Because if you love to do it, it's like 70% of your success. Why? Because you don't have your parents worry if you're gonna wake up to go for training, if you're gonna wake up to go for the games, if you don't forget this, if you don't forget that. First of all, love, and second, respect what to do. Because I'm gonna tell you honest. Sometimes I'm really sad for the soccer players. I can say, if I want to say in soccer players, because it's what I did, you have the best work job in the world. You have 2 hours for training. The most of part of the time you are free. So in the 2 hours, give your best. Give your 100%. For me, it was difficult sometimes. I have many discussions with my teammates when they go for training. You see, they're like, today I don't want. Next day, no. For me, it cannot exist. Because you have the best profession in the world. They pay you for that. You do what I love. So you must respect what you do, especially when they pay you for.
Yeah.
This These two things very important. Love what you do and respect what you do. Love and respect what you do. That means that you will appreciate what you do. If I appreciate what I do, I'm going to do everything for this. I'm going to give 100%. I'm going to respect this. I'm going to respect my teammate, my coach. All this is really important. So enjoy, love what you want to do. And when you are doing it, if you opportunity, you have chance to do it, respect that. Respect that. Respect people around you. Respect people who work with you. If you can combine these two things, I think the rest will come naturally. You're going to get money. You're going to make new friends. A lot of things you desire. You can be Messi, Ronaldo, you never know. You must believe on yourself. This is also important. Believe on yourself, respect and love. And the rest will come.
That's definitely the best advice. Thank you so much for sharing it. And these advices I've been listening 30 years ago. And even if you don't make it as a Messi or Ronaldo, at least you make good friends, like our friendship. And so thanks a lot, my friend. It's been a great pleasure and an honor to have you here. Now people can understand Moreira was always like a role model to me. Even my haircut comes, I only did it because
That's it now.
now people understand why I shaved my head. So that's the only reason. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as me, and share with your friends this wise advice from someone who knows how to make it. Thank you all for being with us, and see you next time. Take care and be safe. Okay.
Nuno, thank you very much for this invitation. It was a pleasure for me. For the people who follow us, I hope to be soon with you again in your program, and to be with you, that we can share ideas and we can remember the times. So it was really a pleasure for me. Thank you very much for this moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.